Alright, Summer Shredding, Episode 1, 2015.
Some people want me to be heads or tails. I say no way, try again another day.
Alright, what's up YouTube? Christian Vega checking in here. So I think what I'm going to do for now is commentate over the video clips. I think it'll be a little easier that way until I get used to, you know, this whole vlogging thing. Sometimes I'll actually talk in the video, but for now I'll just commentate over the video. I think that'll be a little easier. So today was chest and back day. Currently doing this twice a week, and I start off my day with bench. So right now I'm actually doing a strength program called Smolov Jr. And I'll probably go into detail in a different video about what exactly that is, but for this week I'm basically doing 6x6 at 70% of my max, and I do that to start off with just so I'm nice and fresh and, you know, excuse me. After bench, I moved on to back. So typically what I would do on this day is chest, back, chest, back, chest, back. That's what my chest and back day consists of. Typically I do 2 different supersets of chest and 2 different supersets of back, with one main focus or one main lift for chest and then one main lift for back. So here I would typically superset pull-ups with lat pull down, but for today I did them separately. So I did the pull-ups, did about 4 sets of 8 just to get my back nice and warm. And if you notice towards the end of these reps, I start to go real slow, and that's just to get a good stretch of the lats. Alright, so after doing pull-ups and getting my back nice and warm, I moved on to lat pull downs. And for this I do 4 sets, usually do 4 sets on everything, 4 to 5. And I did 12 reps. And when you're doing these, you want to make sure you get a good stretch and a good contraction. So fully extending those arms as long as you can, but you don't want to lock out, because if you lock out, that takes the tension off of your back. Alright, so next I moved on to my first chest superset. A superset decline dumbbell press followed by dumbbell flies. And usually I like to do flies with cables, but it's good to switch it up every once in a while just because it hits the muscle differently. The rep ranges for these workouts were 10 to 12 reps for the decline press, as well as 10 to 12 reps for the flies. But I think I was closer to 10 reps for the flies, because my chest was getting fried. I usually never do decline press, simply because honestly I just forget about it. So I'm trying to incorporate that more into my lifting, or into my routine, so we'll see how that goes. And here, as you can tell, my arms should be extended a bit further. That's something I need to work on, but typically you don't want your elbows to bend that much as mine are bending right now, so you want them to be a little straighter than that. Get a nice contraction, a nice squeeze at the top, nice and slow going down. Alright, after that superset I moved on to back again. As I said earlier in the video, I have one main lift for chest, which is bench, and one main lift for back, which are rack pulls. Honestly, I love doing these. I just started incorporating them a couple months ago, and you really feel these. So a rule of thumb for doing rack pulls is you want the starting height to be slightly below your knees, and the reason for that is so that it uses most of your back and less of your legs. I do anywhere between 4 sets, and I usually do 10 to 12 reps. And when doing these, you want to make sure your back is straight, flexed, and you also want to have those glutes nice and flexed too.
No way, this guy's doing 6 plates on each side for shrugs, for reps.
5 for like 2. That shit was like the worst fucking form ever.
Alright, so after doing rack pulls, which by the way, I don't superset with anything else just because the rack pulls are really taxing. So I feel like if I were to superset it with anything else, my form might get sloppy. So, and I like to go heavier on the rack pulls, so that's why I usually just do the rack pulls themselves and don't superset it. So next, I moved on to my next chest superset. I did just dumbbell press. Excuse me. With this, I don't even know what this is called, but close grip or close. I don't even know what it's called. But basically, I'm doing push-ups on the medicine ball. And I'm not really going for high reps just because you start to feel this pump really quick. I usually only aim for 10 if I can get to 10. Like I said, you mostly want to focus on stretching when you're going down and contracting when you come up. And I swear it feels like your chest is just ripping apart. It feels pretty good. You want to go nice and slow, nice fluid movements. Like I said, if you're doing it correct, it should be hard just to get 10, especially after doing dumbbell press. Oh, and just in case you guys were wondering, I am filming with the GoPro, which actually makes things kind of tricky because the angles are kind of weird, and sometimes I feel like I'm really close to the camera, but I'm not. Don't know if I'm going to be filming with this the entire series, or if I might invest in a new camera. Guess I'll just see how things go. But for now, I'll be using the GoPro. Okay, so for my last back superset, I did this hammer strength lat pull down, followed by a seated row pull, which is also a hammer strength. And usually I don't do 3 vertical pulls. I didn't realize I was doing 3 different pulls with the pull-ups, the lat pull downs, and then these. But I really like using these machines, so I just decided to go for it. Also, when you're doing seated rows or really any type of back movement, you want to make sure that you're pulling through with your elbows and not with your arms or hands. And the reason for that is because when you pull through with your elbows, it's going to help you engage your back and your lats more. Whereas if you were to pull through with your arms, you're going to feel your arms or your biceps and your triceps come into play. And that's not what you want to do. So normally I would have been done after that last back superset, but basically I was feeling like a bro and decided to do one more chest exercise just for the pump. It's just a seated chest press, but I aim it downwards a little bit just to hit the bottom of the pecs. Yeah. Alright guys, so typically what I do post-workout is I make a shake. And I make a huge shake just because after I'm done working out I don't really have an appetite. My adrenaline is usually still pumping, and to be honest, food is like the last thing that I'm thinking about. So I make a shake just to, it's easy to get down, and I get all the calories that I need, or I get those post-workout calories that I need for recovery. So this is usually how I make my shakes. So for my milk, I use Almond Breeze almond milk. So throw this in here. Boom. Okay. As you can see right there, 5.9, 6 ounces, close enough. Doesn't have to be on the dot. And then I'll throw in a scoop of protein. Right now I'm taking Cellucor Whey chocolate. So I'm going to throw just 1 scoop in here. Just like that. Just like that. Throw that in there. And then I'm gonna just your basic creatine monohydrate, just a scoop of this. I throw in a scoop with my pre-workout. I do 5 grams pre-workout and then 5 grams post-workout. So this helps with recovery and muscle endurance as well. So throw that in there, just like that, 5 grams. Boom, done. Next I'll do oats. Let's see, I'm going to do 50 grams of oats. Okay, so just like that. Boom. Throw it in. There you go, 51 right there. 50 grams of oats. And this is the secret ingredient right here. Instead of using ice, I use frozen bananas, so it makes the protein shake nice and thick and cold. I swear you gotta try it. It's a secret. So what I did was I cut up banana slices. I froze them this morning. There's about really 250 grams in this. So I just threw this in the morning and then froze them up so that way they're ready to use, ready to go when I make my shake. So just toss these in there. Boom. Okay, 250 grams right there. And just one last thing. So I also throw this in there. Egg whites. I throw in 4 servings. It's perfect for making protein shakes. Blends really well. You can't really taste it. About 184 grams. Okay, 184 on the dot right there. 184 grams. So that's gonna be 4 servings of egg whites. And then just gonna blend this up. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so this is ready to go. Just gotta throw in a cup. Fill up this one. And if you're serious about your gains, you gotta get every last bit, man. Every last bit. You gotta leave nothing behind. So just pour it in there. That good. You guys are missing out, just so you know. So I was being serious about every gains. Man, can't let it go to waste, you know. Gotta get every bit. Put it in there. Boom. That's my post-workout shake right there. This guy. And then maybe about after an hour or 2 hours, then I'll eat an actual meal. So let that digest, let it settle, and then eat a real meal. And that's what I do for my post-workout.
Some people want me to be heads or tails. I say no way, try again another day.